For lesson 5.9, we're looking at the words some, any, a, and no. Compare words used with count nouns and non-count nouns. In our last lesson, we looked at count nouns and non-count nouns. Count nouns are, of course, nouns that you can count. For example, trees. I see 3 trees in the front yard. And non-count nouns are nouns that we normally do not count. For example, milk. We probably wouldn't say there are 3 milks. We would say something like there is some milk, or there is a large container of milk. Let's look at the affirmative and negative and then the question when it comes to count and non-count nouns. By affirmative, of course, we mean positive or pro or yes or there is. That would be affirmative. Negative is the opposite. No, there isn't, there aren't. Okay, for examples, there is a big reservation in the Southwest. Remember, we're looking at compare words used with count nouns and non-count nouns. There is a big reservation in the Southwest. I put some apples in the cranberry sauce. I put some orange juice in the cranberry sauce. So we use a or an with singular count nouns. Now, this is a count noun, reservation. Reservation is a large area of land. So there is a big reservation in the Southwest. We use a or an with singular count nouns. We use some with both plural count nouns and non-count nouns. So in this case, we have apples, which is, apple is a count noun and it's plural, more than one, apples. So we can use some with that. We can also use some with count nouns, or non-count nouns. I put some orange juice. Here, orange juice is a non-count noun, so we can use some with that. Now, on the negative side, there aren't any American Indian reservations in Illinois. There are no American Indian reservations in Illinois. So we use not any or no with both plural count nouns and non-count nouns. Plural count nouns and non-count nouns. So here's plural count noun, reservations aren't any. Okay, there aren't, this is a contraction, aren't, are not. There are not any. Okay, so not any. And then no reservations, no with plural count nouns. There isn't any information about Clovis Boy's family. There is no information about Clovis Boy's family. These mean the same thing, but we're using different forms to indicate the information. There is not any or there is no. Both of these forms are grammatically correct. Let's look at questions. Are there any nuts in the cranberry sauce? Is this noun, nut, is that a count noun? Yes, it is. Is there any honey in the cranberry sauce? Is honey a count noun? No, it's not. So we use any with both plural count nouns and non-count nouns. Any nuts, any honey. All right? For exercise 14, fill in the blanks with some, any, a, an, or no. Now, in the directions, we don't see anything indicating that you could use more than one. So we're going to assume that only one will fit on each line. Examples. There were some bones near Clovis Boy. Now, if I try to put a in there, that doesn't work. An, no, that doesn't work. There were no bones near Clovis Boy. Well, no will work grammatically, but it's not It's not the case, is it? Because we know that there were some. So that means that you may need to go back in your book to reread this page on page 137 because this is where the information is that they're discussing here. Were there any tools with him? Okay, that's the only word that will fit because it's a question, were there any? Okay, were there any tools with him? Now, the word some could fit in there, except it doesn't make sense, right? Were there some tools with him? The question is, were there any? And that means even if there was one. So the question is, was there at least one? Okay. So go ahead and fill out these with some, any, a, and, or no for exercise 14. Okay, good luck.